All right, we're going to read only a few more sections of this book called The 13 Gates of the Necronomicon by Donald Tyson. We're going to continue reading at this section where it says City of the Book. And to save some time, we'll skip this part here. Continue reading at this part here, son. Go ahead.
The illustrations of the gates that accompany the sections of the book are each distinctive and unique, so that during the rituals of opening the gates, they may be more easily visualized and sustained in the mind on the astral level. For the same reason, the keys that open the gates are distinctively styled so that each may be associated with its gates without confusion.
Good. Now continue reading at this part where it says the astral gates. We'll skip this part to save some time. Pick it back up right here.
As the great Hermetic maxim tells us, what is below is like to what is above, and what is above is like to what is below. To accomplish the miracle of the one thing, manipulation of the lower affects the higher. Study of the higher reveals the lower.
Right, so remember how in lesson 29 we talked about as above, so below? Mm-hmm. So this is an ancient Kemetic and Hermetic principle. Mm-hmm. As above, so below basically means that the macrocosm is a reflection of the microcosm and vice versa. Mm-hmm. All right, pick it back up where you left off, I think right here, right?
Mm-hmm. There are 13 zodiacal constellations that were recognized by the ancient Greeks. A zodiacal constellation is a constellation through which the sun passes in its apparent yearly circuit of the heavens. This may come as a surprise of those who have assumed, based on their understanding of astrology, that the zodiac consists of 12 constellations. In classical astrology, 2 of the 13 Scorpius and Ophiuchus were combined into one under the name Scorpius. and each of the resulting 12 was nominally given an arc of the zodiac of exactly 30 degrees. In this way, the perfect order and harmony of Greek philosophy was imposed on the intuitive chaos of the night sky.
Right, so remember how in lesson 55 we talked about Ophiuchus, which is known as the 13th zodiac sign? Mm-hmm. That's what that's talking about. Mm-hmm. All right, so continue. Let's see, to save some time, we'll skip this part here. Continue reading right here.
It is convenient in astrology to reduce the number of zodiacal constellations to 12 and give them zones of equal length. Indeed, the division of the band of the zodiac into 12 equal parts was made by the Babylonians 1,000 years before the time of Christ. But like the circle of Euclidean geometry, this division is artificial. You may raise the objection that the 13 constellations themselves are artificial, imposed on the random pattern of the stars by
artificially imposed on the random pattern of the stars.
Right. By the human propensity to find order in chaos. True enough, but this order chaos of 13 irregular forms reflects an intuitive level of perception that is more primal and hence more potent than the intellectual conceit that imposed on the heavens by decree an equal division of 12 zodiac signs. The name 13 is not arbitrary, but is integral to the yearly cycle. It should be noted that there are 13 sidereal lunations in the course of a year.
Sidereal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. You're right here. Sidereal luminations.
In
the course of the... So basically this means that chaos makes more sense than order in the Necronomicon. Mm-hmm. Hence why it actually makes more sense to have an odd number of zodiac houses as opposed to an even number. Mm-hmm. So a 12-month system, a 12-month zodiac system is actually an artificial attribute. So what it's saying is the 12-month system, the 12 sign system is the material human world, the 3D world, which is artificial, right? The real world is the chaos world, right? This matrix we live in, this material world is an illusion, right? So the Necronomicon is about what is dark and chaotic. It's the opposite of order and structure, and it's the opposite of this matrix. It's the opposite of the human world. Does it make sense? All right. Now continue reading where you left off. I think you were right here, was it?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Continue reading right there.
The rituals of the 13 constellations described at the end of each section in this book are not about astronomy or astrology, and no knowledge of these subjects is needed to work them. They are about opening astral gateways in the heavens, so that they, by occult sympathy, the corresponding gateways of understanding are unlocked in the city of the Necronomicon, which itself is an astral construct. It is no accident that the term astral is based on the Latin astrum, meaning star. The definition of astral is of or from the stars. Astral archetypes are framed and delineated by the constellations and their brightest stars. Most of Lovecraft's old ones came from the stars, but not from the common stars of our physical universe. Their origins were described as lying beyond the bounds of our universe, or as the places between the stars. It should be obvious to anyone who considers the matter that the old ones do not exist physically in our material world. They would long since have been discovered by modern science. With their bodies corporeal, no, the old ones are astral entities, and if they are to be communicated with, it must be through astral portals.
Right, so real quick, that means that the gates are vehicles or portals to access deeper levels of your subconscious dormant within yourself. You got to go deep into the darkness to discover yourself, deep into your subconscious. And that's what the Necronomicon is about, going deep into the darkness, right? All right, continue reading where you left off there.
Men walk the streets of cities, but the gods dwell
Men walk the streets.
Walk the streets. But the gods dwell in splendor amid the stars.
Right.
The night sky is a kind of black mirror into which it is possible to scry reflected aspects of the deep mind that hide below the level of conscious thought.
Right. So this means that the gates open portals within you. So I'm going to teach you how to use the zodiac signs as gateways to access various reaches of your subconscious mind. And this is based upon positions of the Earth and other planets traveling through the houses, which is called transiting as the planets move. So the stargates are energy signatures. So here's the physics of how you came down here into this material illusion. Energy signatures, which are angles of light, take the form of people via frequency waves from the stargates, becoming dense. That's what a physical body is. It's dense matter, this 3D material world. So these frequency waves find their way into physical form by becoming dense, which is taking the form of physical matter as we know it, which is your body.
Yep.
All right. Before I go any further, finish reading this part right here.
The 13 zodiacal constellations perceived in the heavens by the ancients are higher spiritual doorways that mirror the depths of the racial subconscious, what Carl Jung termed the collective unconscious, wherein lies concealed the city of the book. The stars in the night sky are used in these rituals to open the lower, more tangible gateways of the city, so that individual human awareness can pass therein.
Right. So This solar system, which is a system of souls, is composed of 13 stargates, aka the 13 zodiac signs, aka the 13 gates of the Necronomicon, right?
Right.
Right. So other solar systems out there, may have more or less amounts of gateways, in those solar systems, but this one has 13, right? So as you're aware, the 13 signs, right? Right. So the stargates are constantly at all times always sending frequency waves to our solar system and to this planet. In fact, frequency waves are being sent in just about all directions all the time throughout the entire universe. All right, and the reason the constellations are being referred to as gates of the Necronomicon is because the constellations are simply spaces which energy frequencies from different directions come here to us on Earth. And the origin of these energy frequencies is the dark matter which we see in the nighttime sky beyond the stars. And so, as we previously talked about, the Necronomicon is about dark matter, the primordial darkness that everything initially comes from. So the way to access these energies is by doing certain things or performing certain meditation exercises at certain given times based upon the positions that are conducive to the celestial movements as a means of aligning yourself to receive these energies. You see, so to learn how to recognize when these energies are coming at you based upon celestial positions is key, right? Which also has to do with astral traveling to these places by receiving energy from these places, which are the planets, the stars, so you gotta, it's important to keep track of the transits. Like astral traveling to a specific place actually has to do with embodying that energy. Like, for example, the planet Mars represents war, aggression, and willpower. When you take on the vibration, the personality of war, aggression, and willpower, in a certain sense, you're spiritually astral traveling to that place. All of us are always astral traveling in a way because we're on this planet, which is moving, and astral means the stars, and you're astral traveling. So here's how you went from being dark matter to coming into this human form. I'm going to break it down real quick before we wrap up this video, all right?
All right.
So the first thing you do upon birth when you're born, what's the first thing you do when you're born? Remember I told you? What's the first thing a newborn baby does when you come out of your mom's belly?
You breathe.
You inhale. That first breath of air, right?
Yeah.
And the last thing you do at death is exhale a breath. So your natal chart is a map of your aspects and alignments and frequencies that you received upon taking your first breath of air in the moment you were born. Right? So you're not this physical form. You're not this body. What you are is the frequency waves that this body received upon its exit from the womb, upon its birth. So you are the frequency waves being experienced in this physical density of consciousness, which we call a body, right? These energy signatures which come to us through the stargates originate from the primordial dark matter, which is melanin. Melanin is darkness and chaos. Melanin is the strongest, most powerful thing there is, right? Melanin's going to win in the end. Nothing can defeat melanin. Please believe that. So you see, like, there isn't any life beyond the grave in the way that a religious person thinks or believes. The so-called ego, as we might know it, does not continue after physical death. But the energy signatures that you are is eternal. Do you see what I'm saying, son? Your experiences are permanent reflections in the Akashic records, which is you. Do you understand, God?
Yes.
Who is God?
Me.
In human form right now. All right.
Bygone.
Peace.